And let's just take a lovely big circle with the shoulder round, just warming up a little bit. Then make that a little bit bigger, bending the knee maybe a little bit deeper, and let's go into a full circle round. One more each way. And then let's do a squat. Then open the arms and stretch across the chest. Squat, reach out. Squat, reach out. Good. And then let's do a squat and a big circle round with the right leg round. Just warming up the hips. Squat and circle. Good. One more on each side. And then let's just quickly go into a nice linked position with the fingers. We can stretch those fingers and wrists back. Big stretch up. And then open those arms and down. And again, press away, just stretching out the wrists because we're going to be gripping on to weights, obviously. And one more. Up and around. Good. So grab your biggest weight you can. We're going to do a deadlift, which is our hinge. So it is soft knees. You can bend the knees a little bit, but it's not a squat as a deep bend of the knees. So I've had a bit of a twinge in my hip yesterday, so I'm not going to go as heavy as I was going to go. But I'm going to try my big 7 kilos, actually my bicep curls with the other day, which I thought were going to kill me, but they weren't too bad. So we're going to hold the weights in front. We've done this one quite a few times before. We keep those weights close to our shins, sit bones up, and we squeeze the bottom to come back up. So it's down. So you are kind of sticking your bottom back a bit because we want to get as much hinge as we can. Keep going. Remember, we're working to the point of fatigue, and I'll just quickly show you, if you haven't got weights that are really heavy enough for this, you can use your band, hold it really short, and that will work really well actually for the deadlift because you've got a lot of resistance to work against. Good. So remember, we're feeling those glutes squeezing. We're lengthening those hamstrings. That's why I particularly like this one because I don't build muscle really in my glutes. I've got such a flat bum. I like to do the glute work. Doesn't really help. But I love that lengthening of the hamstrings. Good. Well done. Are we at the point of fatigue yet? Hopefully we only do a few amount of reps. So when you've done, I'm going to put my weights out of the way for a minute. Give the legs a little shake out. So remember, it's kind of error and trial and error. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go a bit lighter now. Let's do our second set. So try to, again, get around some muscle groups that we haven't worked yet. And off we go again. Squeeze. So now, obviously, as we go through, the muscles get tireder because we're going through more reps. The more sets we do, the tireder the muscle gets. Really important here that the back is flat. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. It's just a different exercise. So if we do this one, a round back, it's what we call a Jefferson curl. And that should be absolutely safe as long as you don't have any kind of disc-related problems or osteoporosis. Obviously, you'd really avoid it with that. Any kind of rounding, a loaded weight. But flat back, we're working those spinal extensors as well, which is really nice. Good. Well done. Are we done yet? I'm just starting to feel that a little bit now. So I've probably got a couple more. Remember, we've got to stop before we've sort of collapsed kind of feeling. So you just got 1 or 2 left in you to do. Good. So now our lightest weights. I don't know what I've done with my lighter weights. Oh, they're sitting in front there. So we're going lighter now. Again, if you're using a band, you would just loosen off that band a little bit. Last set now. Off we go. Now, the good thing about the lighter set, which I think I kind of mentioned earlier in the week, is we can get a little bit more range of movement, can't we? So I can get a little bit more feeling of stretch, reaching lower. So, you know, there's not really, it's not one size fits all. We've got to try these different things, haven't we, and see what works for us. If something's not working for you and you're getting a lot of discomfort the next day after that particular exercise, we've got to change it up. We've got to change what we're doing, or maybe the weight that we're using for the exercise. Good. So although we're doing lots more reps in a lighter weight now, we're still at some point going to get to that point of fatigue. The end result is exactly the same. And that's why I quite like these, because it gives you that sort of choice of weight and feel the different ways of working. Well done. Now, I think this is relatively easy exercise compared to some of them, isn't it? But hopefully we've pretty much got there, because we've got some other exercises to do. Now, we're going to go into frontal raises and lateral raises. So we're going to work the shoulders now. So your right arm is going to go forward. I want you to get both in, so we get different fibers of the muscle working, and we're going to alternate. So again, have a practice, which is the heaviest weight, and it doesn't even matter if you can only do 4 reps. So I'm not very strong in my arms, so I know I can't start with the same weight as I did before. So I'm going to have a go with my 4 kilos. So soft knees, strong back, core switched on, right arm up, left arm. Oh, blimey. I'm going to regret this one tomorrow. No higher than shoulder height. Lift. Really need your core as well. The heavier the weight, especially as we're taking one arm to the side. So although we're taking one arm forward as well, and we're still lifting both arms, there still is going to be a little bit of oblique work here, because it's a fairly unilateral movement when you come to that lateral movement. Oh, that's it for me with these. I'm really not that strong in and I don't want to push it, because I've had a past shoulder injury. So there's that to consider as well, obviously. Good. So we're going down. I'm going down to my 3s now. Second set. So again, right arm forward, left arm lateral. But actually, as I say, this isn't just an arm exercise. This is a core exercise. So during the week, we've kind of covered a lot of areas, haven't we? We've done biceps and triceps. We've done core. We're going to do some more obliques today. We're finishing with obliques. Well done. Oh, that's it for me with these 3s, which isn't much lighter than the 4s. So last set lighter again. I've forgotten to bring my even lighter ones, so I'm just going to do my last set with these 2.5s, which I know I'm not going to be able to do that many with, so give the shoulders a little roll. Deep breath in, off we go. Right arm forward, left arm lateral, and lift. So again, you've got to choose which, and it might just be with what you've got at home. So you might be down maybe to a tin of beans now. Up, up. But it's good to do some more sets. So we haven't had time, because we've only done 15 minutes. We haven't had time to do a massive amount of sets. Sometimes we've just changed it around to different areas and just done one set of a set amount of reps. Oh, that's it for me. Weights down. Now you need your mat. We're doing body weight only for this last one. So grab your mat. Now this first one, probably we won't do very many. We're going to do side plank. So come on one side. Elbow, could be full plank if you want to. If you'd rather not be on your elbow, if you've got elbow issues, you can come full arm. But there's further to go. There's further to move. So personally, I think it's a bit harder. Now, if we're going to give it a go with straight legs, if you know your back hates this, then your start point will be here instead. But what I want you to do is lift that top leg as well to make it harder. If you can though, feet are either stacked, or you can have one foot in front of the other. Really doesn't matter. Choose your position. I prefer one foot in front of the other personally. And we're going to lift those hips up. So this is really tough, isn't it? Full plank. So don't worry if you can only do, say, 3 or 4. As I said, it doesn't matter. Or it might even be just one. Lift. Good. I've got a little bit better since I've been doing this. I've actually I really do feel like I've built a bit of strength. I lost a bit in my biceps because I was doing quite a lot of bicep curls before the summer, and then the summer came. Oh, is that enough? Give that little side a little stretch before we go on to the next level. So the next level is bottom leg bent now, top leg straight. And again, always think about this stability in the shoulder. We want to create that space, armpit muscles down, rib cage up, and off we go, pushing up and down. So what I like about this one is the fact that we're not just working obliques. I said, oh, we're going to do plank because we're working obliques, but it's so much more, isn't it? We can feel these abductors working. We can feel the stability of the shoulders, the core muscles working as a whole. And if, oh, that's enough for me. And a big stretch. But if you really want to work on the waistline, to be honest, I think this is one of the best ones. So we're going to make it much lighter now. Both knees are bent. And let's do our last set. And lift up and down. So again, it doesn't matter how many repetitions. If you're doing this on your own at home, again, you're just working to the point of fatigue. Oh, actually, my obliques have had enough now. So let's switch over to the other side. But like I say, even though we're going lighter, it doesn't necessarily get that much easier, does it? Because we've done so many already that the muscles are getting tired, which is kind of the point of the exercise. We go as heavy as we can. That's why I think these are my favorite. I think I like these drop sets. So armpit muscles down, ribs lifting, and lift, and lower, up and down. So you can find some of these on YouTube if you kind of want to do some more over Christmas. So if you have a look back through the chat, we've done tri-sets, drop sets, big sets. There's lots of kind of sets of sets, if you like. Oh, well done. This is my slightly stronger side, so that felt a bit easier. One side will probably feel easier than the other. Top leg straight, bottom leg bent. Give this shoulder there's a lot of work going on here. So it's great for shoulder stability. And I think, we do, as ladies do kind of suffer a bit, I think, we suffer with shoulder problems more because of hormones, especially, when we get to kind of midlife, because of that, when, the lack of collagen when our hormones change. So that's why we kind of do get a lot of shoulder issues. I've got a lot of people in classes at the moment with shoulder issues. Whew, well done. That's enough for me. Carry on, do a few more if you like, or big stretch. Well done. Let's make it even shorter now. So don't worry, if you don't have to keep going. If you're not doing as many as me, doesn't matter. Take your little break when you need it. Off we go. Armpit muscles down, ribs lifted. Let's be strong in that waist and push those hips. The other thing with this is we need to make sure we're stacked. So sometimes what I see is kind of this happening where the hips rotate. We're nice and level with everything. So it's like almost like you're sort of sandwiched between two panes of glass with the shoulders and the hips. Good, up and down. So you can really feel it on this last one, can't you? If we'd have started with this easy version, I think that's a much harder way to do it because your muscles are tired by the time you get to that big weight. Or this would be quite nice if you, I think, so some muscles, if you feel it the next day, you think, oh, I'm glad that's a bit sore because I know I've really worked that area. Remember, we're building strength that way. But you might have found as we've gone through the 90 days that some, I know we've changed things up, but sometimes you don't always get that muscle soreness anymore. Let's bring the legs out in front of us now. Take a nice deep breath in, really lovely big stretch up and over, rib cage away from hip. Good. Then come back to center and take the arm across. And we're going to stretch out these shoulder muscles. Make sure they're dropped away from the ear away from shoulder. If you want to stretch the neck as well, that's completely optional. Well done. And then let's open both arms really wide to stretch across. Thumbs back to the wall behind you. Palms up. Well done. Then take the right arm down, the left arm up. Sit bones are down. So it's really easy, isn't it, just to kind of lift that left side up. But we want to keep the hip down so we get that really good stretch. Excellent, good. Well done. Now bring that arm across. We're going to use the right arm to pull it in and stretch around that shoulder from those frontal and lateral raises that we did. They're really good for kind of general shoulder strength, but there's a lot more to it. Obviously, we want to do rotators. When it comes to shoulder problems, rotator cuff, I just hear it all the time. Every time somebody comes to me and says, oh, I've got these shoulder problems, I said, have you had anything diagnosed? Yeah, it's rotator cuff. Sometimes I think it just is like, yeah, let's just say it's rotator cuff. Well done. Now let's come up to stand if you can without using your arms. So we practice doing that sit to stand. That's a really good skill for us to have and practice. And I want you to keep practicing that over Christmas if you can. And let's do a lovely big circle up with the right arm, rotating round a little bit. Then the left arm rotating round, looking behind you. Big stretch. Good. And then just allow your body to flex forward. Feel the little stretch at the bottom into the hamstrings. And then draw the tailbone down, round your spine as we come back up. Circle those arms around, stretching across the chest as we bring those arms down nice and slowly. Well done. Good work.